Hi, my name is Jenny Nelson. I have been asked to come and speak with you about my time at the Crisis Center. About 7 years ago, I found a need to have to come. Before the boys and I actually came to the Crisis Center, I had called one time and I had driven over and talked to the ladies, but due to my anxiety, I didn't stay. The time that I had to come, my husband, who I was separated from, who was abusive, came to our home, beat down the door, threatened my life and the boys. And I don't know if that was the turning event for me, that I felt like I really needed to do something, but we came the very next morning. I brought the boys with not any idea what would happen. I expected to be put in a room with tons of women and that we would have to sleep on these small beds and the boys would be taken from me. I didn't know if I could work and all of those fears and anxieties that I had about coming. When I got here, it was a total different experience to what I expected. We came that afternoon. The boys got to stay with me the entire time. It was a safe environment. Someone talked to me. There was no condemnation or judgment or why hadn't you been here before? What could I have done better? There was no, Jenny, if you'd have tried harder. It was simply just love and what can we do to help fix this right now? So I was assigned, I guess, to someone. Her name was Lisa. Lisa sat with me and just talked about my event. She let me cry, asked if I needed anything, were the boys okay? And I think I spent a couple hours just doing that. There is a nursery that the boys went to, so a very safe place. After we left the Crisis Center, we still had the ability and we could come to the classes and learn about self-esteem, what we could do better for ourselves, how I particularly was not to blame for this. I've come from a family, my mom was abused, her husband was an alcoholic, so you just grow up thinking it's okay. Not only did I get help, but my 3 boys had their own classes to go to, and in those classes they learned that it wasn't okay. And it wasn't okay for them to live like that they could get help too. They were taught that when someone bullies you, how to stop, if there's anger, how to deal with those things. And that's a big thing that we left all of us angry. So not only did I get help, but 3 gorgeous boys were able to get help too. I didn't even think about those things. How does it affect? Just my purpose was to get them safe, but what do you leave them with? So those were really good things that you don't think about. If it's not just for you, you're doing it for someone else. Well, during that whole realm of coming here, I worked for a company that had a position open for a marketer. It would be a massive step, but prior to this, I would never dream of applying for something so big. Really, like I don't have confidence to talk to people. How would I go and try to convince people why they might do something? Lisa was a phone call away. When I did my first part of my interview, call me and tell me how it went. And I did. I mean, what could be worse than what we've been through? So I called 5 interviews later. I got the position. I've been in this position for 7 years, and I have the ability to talk to people about how they can get better. So this was probably the starting point when I think back about how good God has been and how He's blessed us. The Crisis Center was the start to that, and me not being afraid to come was probably the biggest start to it. If you've thought about getting out and you're not ready because you're afraid, it's a phone call away. Maybe you just need to start with a phone call. I'm telling you, this place was life-changing for me.